We have to wait until the smells accommodate. And in that way, the queen is able to survive.
How many bees typically are in a hive? Or did you already say that?
How many bees in a hive?
Yeah.
A good hive is 50, 60, 70,000. And they live, remember I said they live, the workers, for 5 weeks? If there's no egg laying machine, they'll all die in 5 weeks. So how many eggs must the queen lay in 5 weeks?
50, 60.
Anybody good at arithmetic? Queen has to lay in that 5 weeks, 50, 60, 70,000 eggs. To replace the bees that die. She is one busy girl. Now I showed you a picture of the 3 bees, the worker, the queen, and the drone. The queen is noticeably bigger than the worker. In the summer, when she's laying eggs, her ovaries are continually growing eggs. And her abdomen swells up to accommodate that. So in the summertime, she may be physically that long, whereas the worker is about that long. When she ceases laying eggs in the fall, she shrinks down again. So when we have top-field fair, most of the queens have stopped laying many eggs, and they shrunk down, and she's not much bigger than the worker. And the people looking at the exhibit say, well, the queen isn't so big, but the reason is she's not laying many eggs. She lives a very busy life, and there are no rewards except the fact that the hive lives on. And that's my instinct. We who can reason and enjoy other things to a more or less greater extent live very differently. But I have already told you one similarity. Being with strangers, we don't feel comfortable. Bees with strangers, they don't feel comfortable, and it's deadly. They talk to us, they fly up and down, tell me the other way. They talk to each other to tell each other where the flowers are, so they get nectar. They do a bee dance with relation to the sun to tell the other bees where they found nectar, so they can go there too and get the same nectar. If you put a dish of sugar water out in your yard, the label is fairly heavy with sugar. Bees will come, maybe one will come, about 50 minutes later there's 6 or 8, half an hour later there's maybe 50 or 100 bees there. They tell each other where to find it.
How many bees does it take to produce a pound of honey?
I don't really know the numbers, but it's something like 6,000 bees. There's another factor I forgot to mention. How many stomachs have you got, you know? How many stomachs do you have? Only one? You're deprived. Bees have 2. Bee has a honey stomach and what I call a food stomach. So when the bee sips nectar out of the flower, it goes into the honey stomach, which is nothing but a cargo container to get the nectar back to the hive. And at the hive, she disgorges that into a cell, and other bees in the hive take a drop of it out of the cell and hold it on their mouth and let the air blow by to take the water out. I remember years ago when things were very good honey-wise, in the summertime, I could hear the hives roaring all the way up to the houses. It's about 60 feet away, because they're all fanning their wings and blowing air through to evaporate the honey. Bring the nectar down to the honey. Anything else? I think we're all done. Okay, thanks, Mark.
Fossilized bee?
It looks more like a wasp. It's a fossil that's 3 million years old.
Wow.
And what it shows is that the bees, the wasps, have been the same for that long.
Yep.
So while people have changed over the centuries,
Bees have
Cro-Magnon
remained
man
much
to what
the
we are today,
same. Yeah,
they have remained the same.
no kidding.
But we would say it's a very successful insect.
Yep. Great. Well, take another look at that. There we are. Fascinating.
This is a frame from a hive. It's a honey frame.
Mm-hmm.
When the bees fill this with honey, it belongs to me. When the honey is in here and ripe, this is all sealed up with beeswax. You can't see the honey. And it is the way we tell honey is ripe after that seal is completed. To get it out of here, we have to take a hot knife and skive off the covers, the cappings as we call them, to expose the honey. When the honey is exposed, it is so thick that if I go like this, the honey will not run out. I have to put this frame in a big drum and spin the drum around to throw the honey out. After that, we filter it mechanically. The last fine filtering is done through a brand new woman's stocking. And that takes out all the bits of wax or any bees.
What kind of sugar is honey composed of?
What is what?
The sugar. What is the sugar that is in honey?
It's
Sucrose
called
or
invert sugar,
invert sugar?
and I cannot tell you the formula.
Okay.
But it's a simple sugar, readily digested, and although anyone with diabetes has to avoid this sugar as well as any others, it is, I believe, less likely to induce diabetes if you don't have it.
So there's some health benefit to honey.
Yeah, but they're more preventative than curative.
I see.
Honey, by the way, is also an antiseptic. It can cure an infected cut. Because when honey meets a little bit of water, it releases hydrogen peroxide, which is an
No
antiseptic.
kidding. Did not know that.
And for those people who are more adventurous, honey and whiskey is a very fine throat smoother.
Well, thank you, Bill. You have been watching Bill Denhard at the Edith A. O'Leary Senior Center in North Reading, Massachusetts, giving a presentation on beekeeping, Friday, March 26, 2010.